Hello everybody, today's video is going to be a continuation of the previous lesson. So we will first take a look at example 2D. In example 2, we previously discussed that we needed to do some form of factorization first before we actually go on to simplify. So factorization is required first. Alright, so let us take a look at example 2D. So in this question, we have 25x cubed minus 15x over 30x squared minus 15x. So the factorization that we will be doing is to actually extract out the common factor. So we extracted out in the numerator 5x, and in the denominator we have also extracted out 5x. It is a common factor for both the numerator and denominator. Okay, so in this case, we have factorized by extracting common factor. Following from there, we will then simplify by cancelling the common factor. So we will cancel away 5x. And previously, we have already agreed upon that whatever that's in the bracket, we cannot cancel anything individually. So we will leave 5x squared minus 3 on its own and 6x minus 3 on its own. Hence, our answer will be 5x squared minus 3 over 6x minus 3. Before I move on to example 3, I would like to do a quick recap on the 3 different types of factorization that we have previously done in chapter 5 and 6. So in example 2, we have largely seen how to actually do factorization by extracting of common factors. Then after that, in the previous 2 chapters, we have also learned how to do the cross method. In the cross method, we use this very unique frame which looks something like that. Hopefully you remember. And it is only limited to quadratic expressions, meaning to say that in the expression itself, there must be a term that has a power of 2 for the variable x, for example. Then after that, the next method that we have learned is to do by using special identity. So the use of special identity that we are focusing on is the a squared minus b squared, which is equals to a minus b times a plus b. Okay, so now let us take a look at example 3. So in example 3 itself, we would like to simplify each of the following: 4x squared minus 16x over x squared minus 16. So similarly, we will have to do some form of factorization because there is no immediate way for us to do any cancellation. So whenever you see that there's no immediate way for us to cancel terms, we will have to do factorization first. Now, in the numerator, we have 4x squared minus 16x. And for x squared minus 16x, we will employ the use of extracting common factor method, and that will give us 4x times x minus 4. Then in the denominator itself, we have x squared minus 16. You will notice that x squared and 16 does not have any common factors, so surely we cannot do by extracting common factors. So what we will then do is to apply a squared minus b squared equals to a minus b times a plus b. Because we see that x squared is x squared itself, and then for 16, right, it is actually equals to 4 squared. So I need you to be able to observe that x squared minus 16 is the same as x squared minus 4 squared. Hence, I will recognize that x as my a and 4 as my b. So I will get it to be x minus 4 times x plus 4 when I apply the identity. So now that we have done the factorization in the numerator and the denominator, we notice that the common things that we have in the numerator and denominator will be x minus 4 itself. Hence, we will then cancel away x minus 4 and get the answer 4x over x plus 4. Now let us take a look at part B, which is the last question for chapter 7.1. In this question, we see that in the numerator, we have x squared minus 6xy plus 9y squared. And in the denominator, we have 2x squared minus 6xy. In this question, clearly we cannot do any form of direct cancellation because we are hindered by all these minus and plus over here. So what we need to do is to do a factorization. In the numerator itself, for the factorization, we need to do it by the cross method. So to do by the cross method, I have written over here in green on the right, okay, the cross method frame. So I leave over here x squared, on the right we have minus 6xy, and in the middle I have 9y plus 9y squared. So what I will do is that, or rather what we have already learned, okay, over here is actually for multiplying, just a reminder to everyone, and over here we have to do by adding. Okay, so what this means is that along the whole column, we will choose x times x because I know it will give me x squared. For 9y squared, maybe I will try to think about having 3y and 3y first. Okay, then after that, I will see that 3y times 3y will give me 9y squared. Okay, then I will have to do the cross multiply, so x times 3y, so that will give me 3xy, and x times 3y over here will give me 3xy. However, I want you to observe that if I have a positive 3xy and a positive 3xy, and I were to add them together, clearly it will not give me a minus 6xy. So definitely this part over here is not going to be correct. So in order for myself to get a minus 6xy, I should have minus 3xy and minus 3xy, because only when minus 3xy minus 3xy, it will then give me a negative 6xy. Hence, if I were to choose to have minus signs over here, I should have minus signs over here. And this is consistent because minus 3y times minus 3y will give me plus 9y squared. So this will be the correct factorization that we are going to get using the cross method, and the answer will be x minus 3y times x minus 3y. And because these two things are the same, it is actually the same meaning as x minus 3y bracket squared. That is the reason why I have x minus 3y bracket squared on the numerator here. Then in the denominator, with 2x squared minus 6xy, I will try to think of doing the extracting of common factors here, because between the two terms 2x squared and minus 6xy, I noticed that I can have 2x as a common factor. So when I extract out the common factor, I will get 2x times x minus 3y. Now that I have already completed my factorization at the top and bottom of the fraction, I will do my cancellation. So I will cancel away a single x minus 3y, and hence my answer will be left to be x minus 3y over 2x. We have now come to the end of today's lesson. I would like you to continue to work on this topic by going onto your workbook exercise 7a, page 81 to 82. I want you to complete question 1, 2, and 3, and you may want to refer to example 1, example 2, and example 3 as per what we have already discussed. Then, after you have completed them, you may check your answers with the work solutions that I am submitting onto our Google Classroom. And also, the explanation will be done in a separate video that I will be uploading as well.